Welcome to IntyCenter, everybody, for your whip around Fiduse 1957. And since we mentioned these two when we posted the game of the week, we'll go ahead and start by highlighting these two games now. We'll start with Cy Blanton going 9 innings, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits. He gets a no decision. Toad Ramsey retires 35 batters, goes 11 2/3 innings. He gives up 3 runs on 8 hits, and he takes the loss. Ramsey gave up a 1-out double in the 12th, and Eric Gagne let the inherited runner score on a walk-off single from Norm Cash in a shack of their own take down the bandwagoners 3-2 in 12 innings. Then up in Minnesota, the Amazings took a 7-3 lead into the 8th inning. Josh Gibson got a leadoff triple. Ron Santo got a 1-out single to score Gibson. Victor Martinez singled to move Santo to second. Elmer Flick grounded out into a fielder's choice to send Santo to third. Luis Arias singled to score Santo, and Dave Bancroft doubled to score a pair and tie the game at 7 before John Smoltz relieved Bob Feller to retire Cool Papa Bell and end that inning. We'd stay there, both tied at 7 and with John Smoltz pitching until the 12th inning. Smoltz would retire the first 2 batters of the inning and then get replaced by Dwayne Ward. Martinez would reach on an error. Flick would single. Arias would walk it off with a single to score Martinez and give the Gales an 8-7 win in 12 innings. Also, on our first set of games this week, this pitcher's duel warrants only an honorable mention compared to those first 3 games. Pete Alexander goes 8 innings. He gives up 3 runs on 7 hits. He gave up a 2-run homer to Edgar Martinez in the 3rd inning, and that was the difference as Dave Brown went the distance, giving up 1 run on 5 hits, and the Pilots take the opener against Sithy 3-1. We go to our second day of games, and Sithy and the Demon Bags had a bit of a hold my beer contest on offensive ineptitude. The Demon Bags saw Grasshopper Jim go 9 innings, giving up 1 run on 6 hits while striking out 8 and walking 1. Of course, he takes the loss because Leon Day tossed a 6-hit shutout, striking out 6 and walking none. Falling 10 pitches away from a Maddox, the lone run of the game, an RBI single from the defending MVP, Arky Vaughn, in the top of the 1st inning with only 1 out recorded in the game. That means there were no runs scored on the combined 53 outs of the game. But we'll be honest, the Demon Bags might have looked like the 27 Yankees compared to Sithy on the day. They managed just 2 hits off Charlie Bender. Mookie Betts and Edgar Martinez each driving a pair of runs, and Stone Temple Seattle Pilots take that one 6-0. A day after they needed 12 innings to win a 1-0 game, performance enhancers had no shortage of offensive output. Carl Yastrzemski, Todd Helton, and Eddie Collins each homered, and a dominant Guy Hecker went 9 innings, give up 1 run on 6 hits. The enhancers roll in that one 11-1. Expect some mandatory random drug testing in Queens. And on getaway day for the first set of games, you won't believe this, but the bats for Demon Bags and Sithy were once again pretty much silent. Sithy did double their hit total from the previous day, getting 4. They would, however, fail to score again, wasting a great start from Hilton Smith, who gave up 1 run on 6 hits. Alas, Randy Johnson shuts out Sithy on 4 hits, striking out 4. The only run of the game, a 1st inning solo homer from Roy Parnell. Then it was the Demon Bags who got 8 2/3 shutout innings from Fernando Valenzuela, only to have Rube Waddell go 9 innings of shutout ball against them. Willie Hernandez and Charlie Sweeney would continue to put up zeros on the scoreboard, and this one would reach the 13th inning before we had any score. And luckily for Weighing Sanity, it was Al Rosen getting the walk-off single to score Sam Thompson, giving the D-Bags the 1-0 win in 13 innings. We mentioned this in the thread as well, but after an off day to travel, the Demon Bags would play in their 2nd consecutive 13-inning game, and again, the game would end on an Al Rosen single. After Jake Arrieta and CC Sabathia would each give up 3 runs in 8 innings of work, they turn it over to the bullpens. We'd end up with Derek Jeter leading off with a double in the 13th. He gets replaced on the base pass eventually when Bobby Cox wakes up from his nap by Ricky Henderson. Henderson scores on a sac fly by Aaron Judge. That gives the Zodiac Guardians a 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 13th. Cleveland's own Ed Delahunty draws a 2-out walk. Bobby Cox wakes up from his nap once again, decides to put Mariano and Rivera in the game finally, and Rivera gives up a single to Al Rosen, but Delahunty gets thrown out at third by who else? Aaron Judge to end the game. Rosen singles end 2 consecutive games in the 13th inning, and somehow the Demonbags go 1-1 in those 2 games. Baseball, you can't make this up. Now, that wasn't the only 13th inning game of the day. Elsewhere, we had a Turkey Stern solo homer in the top of the 13th and a 1-2-3 bottom of the inning from Shohei Ohtani. That gives a 5-4 win to the Amazings over the Enhancers. Smokey Joe Wood tossed a 2-hit shutout as Scythie took down every City Bandwagoners 5-0. A Joe DiMaggio 2-run homer in the 4th got Scythie going in this one. They win it against the reeling Bandwagoners, who have now lost 8 in a row and sit 11 games under 500 before we've reached the end of April. Heels and bad luck in drafting. Is there a more iconic combination? Now, as we mentioned, Sandy Koufax nearly tossed a no-hitter. He settles for 8 2/3 of one-hit baseball. He cedes the final out to Charlie Sweeney after he tosses 125 pitches. Demonbags take down the Guardians 3-0. And one highlight from our last set of games that comes from the arm of Lefty Grove. He's phenomenal this season. I think his ERA is about $1.10. In the finale against Game of Thrones, he tosses a complete game. He gives up 1 run on 4 hits. Ted Williams, Joe Jackson, Cy Seymour each driving a run. And the Throws drop this one to a shack of their own, 3-1. That's going to do it this week for IntyCenter. We'll see you next time. We'll try to be more topically relevant about 1957 and do another whip around. Fadeuce.